You can go into your local cell phone store, sign a service contract to get an iPhone for $100. That's because Sprint or AT&T or Verizon is banking on the money they'll get monthly from your service. But the days of cheap phones may be ending soon. Traffickers have found a way to get those deal phones, jailbreak them, and sell them in Hong Kong for $2,500 a piece. The heat is on for this type of crime here in Detroit after several major busts. Now California seems to be the place. I exposed the bad guys here. Now I'm exposing them there. This is undercover video of an international cell phone trafficking operation.
It's a very, very profitable business.
You could be lured in by a simple want ad and tricked into doing the dirty work for greedy businessmen here in the U.S. What happens to the phones?
They go overseas.
Overseas onto the international black market. You don't care? You don't care if they end up in terrorist hands or do they jailbreak the phones? Who's this guy? Put your phone on vibrate because this story's off the hook. Whoa, where are you going, dude? It's 2:06 in the afternoon and Jaime the henchman is at work. His job, picking up people who think they've just landed a secret shopper position with a company called Cell Wholesale in Southern California. The company claims it's a family-owned business. Hey, there's Jaime on the webpage, along with fellow team member Chris. Chris picks up people who answer the ads as well and takes them to phone stores, lots of phone stores. Chris and Jaime wait outside as the new employees go into several stores and sign long-term contracts to obtain new iPhones. According to this lawsuit filed by Sprint against Cell Wholesale, the people are told to use their real names and credit info. Why do the job seekers agree to do it? Remember, they think they're secret shoppers, and Cell Wholesale says they'll cancel the contract. But they don't. Everybody loses here. The job seeker's credit is ruined. Here's a police report from someone who answered a Cell Wholesale ad and now has a bunch of bill collectors after her. The cell phone companies lose because they're giving these phones away for cheap, thinking they're getting long-term customers. And all of us who have cell phones lose because this costs the cell phone carriers millions of dollars a year. And they gotta make up for those losses somehow. Back to the undercover video. Chris counts out the phones his new employee, aka Credit Mule, has obtained so far when out he comes with another 4 iPhones from Sprint. Jaime's female hire is doing great as well. The guys then take the new hires to the ATM and pay them $100 for each phone they get. Chris's guy got 9 new iPhones. Jaime's female employee got 11 iPhones. Here she is counting out 11 Benjamins. After dropping off these poor suckers who simply answered these ads, Chris drives to a meeting spot, gets all the phones out of the trunk and hands them off to a woman in a white car who drives up next to him. Then she backs into a space at a McDonald's and hands off the phones to another guy on a motorcycle. Where do the phones go from there? Attorney Jim Baldinger, who's representing Sprint in the lawsuit, has a good idea.
They ship them overseas to be used on networks other than Sprint's network.
Just like Jason Floria did in Detroit.
Who's Jason Floria? They said you were the godfather of this crime. Come on. Jason Floria is a convicted cell phone trafficker serving time in federal prison. Jason ran a company outside of Detroit that was called Ace Wholesale. The place got raided by Homeland Security a couple of years ago. Floria would jailbreak the phones, which renders them untraceable. He sold them in bulk to Hong Kong and made tens of millions of dollars. How much does a new iPhone go for in Hong Kong? $2,500. I busted Floria and another smartphone trafficking operation in Detroit a few years ago.
We've had a number of cases where it turned out that the people who were actually profiting from this were connected with terrorist organizations.
So who's in charge of Cell Wholesale in California? His name is Hersho Barazzi. He's no terrorist, but he has been charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm. Here he is a few weeks ago waiting outside of court. By the way, he pled not guilty. This funky-looking office building here in Newport Beach, California is a supposed home of Cell Wholesale. Let's go inside and see if the big cheese is around. The The people inside tell me Cell Wholesale just rents space here and no one is hardly ever there. In this video shot by private investigator, Brazzi always seems to be messing with his iPhone, but he sure isn't answering any of my calls.
I'm trying to reach Hirsch Brazzi.
But I do find Jaime. He picks up a guy who answers an ad and takes him to a T-Mobile store in Irvine, California. As Jaime leaves the ATM, I go to work. Hey, Jaime. How you doing? Rob Wolchek from Fox 2 News in Detroit. What are you doing, man?
Nothing, sir.
Yeah? You taking people around to get phones?
No, sir.
You're not?
We're just purchasing and selling phones.
You're purchasing and selling phones? Who are you
Yes,
doing
sir.
it for?
A company?
Company? What's the name of the company?
Can't tell you that, sir.
Why not? Don't you is this your company? Is that
Yes,
you?
sir.
So tell me a little bit about the business. What do you guys do?
Just buy and sell cell phones, sir.
Don't you place ads in Craigslist and people come and answer the ads and then you take them out to get phones?
Yes, sir.
So why are you doing that?
We just buy and sell cell phones.
Yeah? Well, isn't that unethical to go into stores and grab phones? What happens to the phones?
They go overseas.
Who sells them overseas?
I don't know, sir.
Brazzi?
I don't know.
Is he your boss?
I'm just a driver for the company.
Oh, it says right here you're a marketing team. Tell me about the marketing team. What kind of marketing do you do?
You know, if you want me to get my lawyer here, I can do that.
That's
But
cool.
you
Get
guys
your
are
lawyer,
bothering
man.
me
He,
right
maybe he
now.
can fill me in.
You
So
guys
tell
wanna
me
leave
what you're
alone?
doing. What happens with the phones? Do you know where those phones end up?
No, sir.
You don't care? You don't care if they end up in terrorist hands or do they jailbreak the phones? Who's this guy? Is this one of your guys?
I don't know. He's here.
So fill me in a little bit.
Let's go.
Fill me in a little bit.
Hey.
Whoa, where are you going, dude? Cell Wholesale owner Hirsch Brazzi eventually did call me in California, but it was only to tell me off and to tell me to never call him again. Sprint has shut down a number of cell phone trafficking operations around the country. Their attorneys provided much of the video for this story. They're currently suing Brazzi and all the players in this story. The San Diego criminal complaint against Cell Wholesale is currently classified as an active investigation.